Thank you for sharing, Caroline. So I'm just going to do a little summary of kind of how this next probably 45 minutes to an hour are going to go. First of all, I just want to thank everyone for joining us. We really appreciate you being here as part of our kickoff to International Women Build Week. This is an event that happens every year. Lowe's is a key sponsor to this. They generally sponsor anywhere from 200 to 300 habitats across the country. This year, it also is including habitat in India as well. And they are making sure that, I have a squirmy dog on my lap. They're making sure that Habitat is able to celebrate and bring attention to the work that women are doing within affordable housing. Today, we are going to be highlighting the work that the women in our AmeriCorps team are doing at our Lake City site. We'll be playing a video interview with each of them, and it'll give you a chance to get to know them a little bit more. And a few of them are actually on this call, so after the video, if there's any further questions or comments that people would like to ask, they are here to talk. And then we're going to talk a little bit about a homeowner, a female head of household family who's going to be moving into one of the homes that we're building at Lake City. Just highlight the impact that affordable housing has on, especially on women who are disproportionately affected by single family households with women as the head of the family are more likely to experience poverty and less likely to be homeowners. And it is something that we as an organization locally and across the country and globally are working on to make sure that there's equity in the way that affordable housing is distributed and is sold to folks. And so we'll be talking about a family there. And then we're going to end with a second video of a home tour. Mackenzie, one of our AmeriCorps, is going to walk us through kind of the different stages of our project out at Lake City, give you an idea of what goes into the homes that we build. We know it's been an interesting year and not everyone has been able to be on our site maybe as often as they would like or at all. And so we want to be able to give folks a firsthand experience of what it's like in the homes that we build. It might look a little different than what people expect. And so Mackenzie gave us a great tour. We'll all watch that, and then you'll be able to ask any questions you might have about the homes we build, why we build them the way we do, what goes into them, anything like that. So to kick it off, I just want to do a couple of quick introductions. Again, my name is Alex Wyatt. I'm the Corporate Relations Manager here at Habitat for Humanity, Seattle-King County. I've been here for about 7 years. This is my 6th women build that I've participated in. And Caroline, I know you just did a brief intro, but I'm going to kick it to you to do a quick introduction of how long you've been with Habitat and how many women builds you've been a part of.
Yeah, so kind of like I said earlier, I've been with Habitat since 2019, and this will be my 2nd Lowe's Women Build, and Women Build sum total, my 3rd Women Build. So, and I'm the volunteer coordinator here. So again, any questions about volunteering, our sites, I'm here to help. Hit the chat button. But yeah, that's kind of what I do and how I got here.
Great, thank you. And I'm going to kick it over to our 3-person video with Bethany, Mackenzie, and Jess to do a quick intro as well.
Hi, I'm Bethany. I'm the in-office AmeriCorps with the RD department.
Hi, I'm Mackenzie, the one he was talking about before. I'm one of the AmeriCorps at Lake City.
I'm Jess. I'm also an AmeriCorps at Lake City.
All right, I'm going to have to remind our 3-headed AmeriCorps group to, you're going to have to point the mic at each one of you so we can hear you. But we'll be hearing more from them later, so that won't be our only chance to hear from them. So thank you also for joining us. So before we get started, I just again want to thank everyone for being a part of our kickoff to Women Build Week. This is, of course, International Women's Day. And typically, we'd be doing a women build in person, volunteering with folks throughout the county this week. It's a little different this year. We're staying in the virtual realm. And so Lowe's has been great supporters of the work that we do, our Lake City program, and allowing us to host an event like this to get people connected to the work that women are doing in the organization. I do also want to mention, Caroline brought this up as our volunteer coordinator. We are still going to be doing an in-person women build the first week of May. Our affiliate's going to be hosting that. There's more information to come on that. So we just wanted to let you know that if you're itching to swing a hammer and get out and build, that is opportunity still coming up in May. But anyways, to kick things off, I'm going to do a quick screen share. I'm going to play a video of Caroline and our AmeriCorps team at Lake City, and then we'll go from there.
What interested you in working with Habitat for Humanity or just coming to Seattle in general?
So I just graduated from college in May, and I was interested in doing something hands-on, but not jumping into the real world yet. And Habitat seemed like a good fit. I was always interested in Habitat and never got a chance to do it in college because I was super busy.
So I was interested in Habitat because I thought it'd be a good way to get construction experience and learn it on the job instead of taking classes. So that was my main reason for joining Habitat, was to get some more construction experience and see what that was like.
Habitat specifically, I went to school for architecture, so I'm enjoying learning about the building process and understanding more of what I'm drawing. Like, it's been awesome to physically build things that I used to be drawing, or I will be in the future drawing.
Nice, nice. So what was your most rewarding day on site, would you say?
One of the most rewarding days at Habitat was on repairs. We had a home preservation event, and that was really cool because we helped out 5 different families. On this specific site, I don't know if I have a specific day, but I think any day working with partner families is really cool, super rewarding, and because they're all really, really excited that we're building a house for them.
One of my favorite days on site is anytime I get to teach someone how to use a power tool. I love getting to teach someone for the first time to use a tool like that and to see them light up when they use it and feel accomplished at the end of the day. So there's a lot of days like that but those are my favorite, when I get to teach someone a new tool.
There was one day when one of the homeowners, and she's actually the homeowner that I'm in charge of her unit now, but I remember one day we were framing the closet downstairs on the first floor, and we both had cut the studs wrong 3 times. And then she was reassuring me and herself that she was just like, I love it when we make mistakes, because then you learn the most from when you're making mistakes.
Yeah, I think that's a super great attitude to have towards mistakes in general. So what do you think it means to be a woman homeowner? Do you think that means a lot for her to come and work on these homes and then eventually move into them?
Yeah, I think it's very impactful and powerful, and just you can see how different and how amazing it is to be a woman in this day and age, and that it's acceptable and welcoming even.
How do you feel you can use this construction experience after your AmeriCorps term?
I plan to use this experience. I'm not sure exactly what my career is going to look like after AmeriCorps, but I just plan to use the experience of hands-on work and knowledge and fixing things, just moving forward.
I'm gaining some very valuable leadership skills at this job, leading volunteers, and obviously learning to do things, especially right now we're doing finish work, and those are all things that are going to be super valuable when I hopefully own a house one day.
This is definitely, I've learned a lot, and it's going to help me a lot with becoming an architect one day, and whatever, even though it's going to be different in the future and I'm going to be designing different things, I feel like this has given me a good foundation to build off of.
And switching gears, what is a tool on site that you would love to own for your own personal reasons?
Definitely a saw. I think a table saw, but it's also the scariest. One of the scariest. Yeah, we'll go table saw.
I think the multi-tool is my favorite tool. It's just very versatile. I can use it for anything, and it's a tool I didn't know existed until I started working for Habitat, and it's saved a lot of little mess ups. So I like that tool a lot.
That's a difficult one. I'm a big fan of the multi-tool. That's basically a tool that has just a flat blade on the end, so you can cut things that are already in place. It's super useful when you're doing many projects, any sorts of projects.
What do you do outside of the construction site? What are some hobbies or interests you have?
Well, now is particularly difficult to find things to do, but I really enjoy reading, and I really enjoy doing puzzles. Yeah, usually have a puzzle consistently set up at our house.
Outside of the construction site, I like to camp and rock climb. And then when there's not a pandemic going on, I play rugby.
I like to draw. I like going for hikes and for walks.
What would you tell other women that might feel uncomfortable or like just maybe a little scared to come out to sight? What would you tell them to kind of dispel those fears?
I would tell them that it's a lot of fun. Nobody knows what they're doing, so they should come out even if they don't think they know what they're doing. And it's a great atmosphere. It's a great empowering atmosphere. That's what we try to do. We try to teach everyone like they've never done anything before, and that's how we'll teach everyone that comes out to the site.
A lot of the worries and like hesitations for women to come out on site is just all in our heads, and I think that women are powerful and they can do whatever they set their mind to.
I would say it's definitely scary, but I would say go for it. I think just go for it. Things are changing, and the world is changing, society is changing very quickly and has changed, and it's a lot more common nowadays to see women on a construction site. And I mean, here, all three of AmeriCorps here are women, so it is super motivating, and people are generally pretty accepting of it nowadays, and especially at Habitat.
And in thinking about women out at site, last question, as a part of Lowe's International Women Build Week and Women's Day, what does Women Build mean to you?
In the fall, I had the pleasure of being part of another women build that we had, and I think it's super powerful to have women come out, and you have people come out who have never swung a hammer before, and we have people who come out who have also done other things, but they're all really excited to be out here. And
like, women can do anything that they set their mind to. Like, women can build amazing things, and they can do whatever they have the courage to do.
To me, Women Build is looking out in the construction site and not seeing 90% men and seeing 90% women. So that's between our construction site, the trades program, everyone that comes out to the site. I'd rather see it 90% women rather than 90% men. So I think International Women Build is just setting that standard of that's what the week's gonna look like, and that's what, in my opinion, the whole year should look like on a construction site.
All right. So I would like to take a second and just open the floor. Again, thank you to Mackenzie, to Jess, and to Lisa, and also Bethany, who helped pretty much any video that you see, any good images that you've seen in the past year are all thanks to Bethany, our AmeriCorps extraordinaire in our VISTA program, who's helped pull a lot of this audio and visual stuff together in a great way. So she helped make sure all these videos look great today. But it's, we just want to give folks a picture into the world of our AmeriCorps on our site. But if anyone has any questions, you can enter them in the chat. You're more than welcome to unmute yourself. If you'd like to learn a bit more about what it's like in our AmeriCorps program this year. And if no one speaks up, Caroline, I might put you on the spot as a former AmeriCorps. I'm also a former AmeriCorps. There's a lot of former AmeriCorps floating around with Habitat, but Caroline, so now that she's a member of our staff now, Caroline, maybe what's a takeaway from being in AmeriCorps that you still take with you today?
I think a big takeaway from being in AmeriCorps, and this is kind of specific to Habitat in general, is just seeing volunteers come out regularly every single week to build a home for someone that, they don't know is kind of incredible. Like, you could be doing anything else with your time, but like, you choose to come out. And I would also say so many of our regular volunteers have taught me half the things that I know about construction and how to swing a hammer and just so many things. So I learned a lot. I'm so grateful for the volunteers. And I don't say that just because I'm the volunteer coordinator. I actually spent a year out on site with them. But I'm going to answer Kevin's question. He said, where do the bulk of your volunteers come from? Honestly, our volunteers come from everywhere, but I would say we have a lot of retired people that volunteer. So it's really all kinds of things. We have different groups. We have our Habitat Young Professionals group, college groups come out. Sometimes high school groups come out. So we don't really pull from one source. We have all kinds of volunteers. And the next question, what is the typical commitment of a volunteer? How many days or hours a week? So there's really no commitment at all. Even if you sign up and don't show up, that's totally fine. But on a typical construction day, we start at like 8:45, 9 and break at lunch for noon. And then we wrap up around 3:45, 4. So again, it is a full day, but it's usually a really fun and rewarding day. But you don't have to commit to like a project. You don't have to commit to a week. You can just commit to one day. And so
I'm going to throw a question at Mackenzie from the AmeriCorps group. She's been helping us coordinate a lot of volunteers out at the Lake City site. I'm sure if anyone's been out there this year, you've likely seen her and Jess and Lisa out there working with the team. Mackenzie, what is a typical AmeriCorps experience, or excuse me, a volunteer experience? Maybe someone who's out for the first time, what could they expect when they come out on site?
Can you hear me? Yeah. First to start. So coming out on site, so we'll, if it's the first time, get you situated and get everything you need to start for the day, depending on what we're doing. So right now you'll see later, we're doing mostly finish work. And then once everyone gets there, we'll kind of do a safety talk and, just what you need to know for the day and being on site, safety wise, and just kind of a general overview of site. And then we'll kind of split off into groups usually. So there's 3 AmeriCorps sites. Usually we're all kind of leading different things depending on what we're doing. And so then we'll split off and do different activities and different jobs and tasks, and just kind of get you going. And then we take lunch. And then so sometimes we'll be doing the same task for the entire day. Sometimes it switches up depending on just what we do. If it's a smaller thing, we'll switch up and change things, and sometimes it's the same thing and take lunch. And then we usually end the day at like 3:30 or 3:45, and we'll all help clean up. But it's really fun, we're working with, sometimes the groups are bigger, and so you're working with more people, and sometimes you're doing more precise stuff or general, but it's all really important. So
great. Thanks. Jess, I'm also going to throw a question at you. I'm a volunteer who comes out and we're framing for the day, but I have never done that before, and I'm assigned to you as part of the framing team. What's my experience going to be like working with you?
You're going to have a blast, first of all. So if we're framing, I'm going to get you all the tools you need. So your hammers, your nails, hard hat is going to be on your head. And we're just going to learn from like the basics, just like how to put a stud in a wall together with whatever we're putting a window in. I'm going to teach you exactly how to put the window in, how tall the studs need to be. We're going to use chop saws and a whole bunch of different power tools. And it's just going to be an awesome time. Get to know you better and like always be available for questions. I'll probably be running around like a chicken without their head and like running through from volunteer to volunteer, but it's all fun and exciting. And then
great.
I meant to say, so, and then we've been trying to get out new volunteers and give them a little bit of like a tour through the building, and so kind of talk to them about Habitat and what it is and like what our buildings look like and the kind of the general process of how we've built them up into. And I think that is really cool, and people tend to like that because it's cool to see.
Great. Well, I couldn't have asked for a better segue to get into the home tour. So like Mackenzie just said, oftentimes if you come out on site, we're going to show you the homes that we're building and the work that we're doing. And because we can't all do that in person these days, Mackenzie and Bethany were out there last week giving an update of what our Lake City site is currently looking like. So most of this will be covered in the video, but we're building 16 townhomes there, and that is a little different than maybe what Habitat used to be doing. A lot of our projects in the past were single family homes or small 1 to 2 story communities. And we're building more densely. We're trying to do a better job of using the resources and the land that we have to house as many people as possible. There's a lot of really cool work going on at the Lake City site. And so we are going to share that video now of the home tour at Lake City, if you'll bear with me just 1 second.
For that 1 second, I'm just going to answer Kevin's question again. No, I have not gotten to meet Jimmy Carter, but I think that's everyone's life goal here at Habitat is to meet Jimmy Carter. Great dude. Great question.
Hi, I'm Mackenzie. I'm an AmeriCorps here at our Lake City site. So this is our Lake City site for Habitat for Humanity. So here we are there's eventually going to be 16 townhomes. So we have 4 buildings. They each have 4 units in them. The units are 4 bedrooms and 2.5 baths each and about 1,400 square feet. So now we're gonna go into one of our units that just got insulation in. So in here you can see this is the garage. And you can see that we have insulation here. So the insulation, the garage acts as an exterior room. So we treat it as exterior and then the interior starts in the house. So over here you can see this is where the hot water heater is going to be. So we strive for energy efficiency to help the homeowners and just make the house that much more affordable. They can lower their energy bill. So our hot water heaters, we use energy efficient hot water heaters. They're hybrid. We also have a recirculation pump built into every unit, so that just keeps the water inside the pipes constantly moving, which means that up on the 3rd floor, it doesn't take a minute to get hot water coming out of it. So upstairs, we're now upstairs on our 2nd floor. This is going to be the living area. You'll see that more. Here, just wanted to show, so here's you can see all the plumbing here and electrical. So all of these pipes are the hot water lines. And we insulate them to increase the efficiency. And then over here, this is the heat pump that is going to, it's a energy efficient heat pump. So this is what's going to heat this 2nd floor. And then there's individual heaters in all the other rooms. All right, so now we're in one of our other buildings. Luckily, we have buildings at different points of the project right now. So in these 2 units, the drywall is getting installed and mudded. So the cracks are getting filled, and so you can see that here. And then now we're gonna go over to our north building that has 4 finished units, and we're gonna walk through and get more of a full tour of one of our units over there. All right, so now we're in our first unit. This is unit A of our buildings. So this is the garage here. There's a lot of stuff. Ignore all the stuff. We store stuff in these buildings, so we can go in. This is the entryway into the building from the garage. So here we have a bathroom. So this is a full bathroom on the 1st floor. And then you come into the hallway. And in here we have a bedroom. So this is the bedroom on the 1st floor with a closet. And then this is the front door of the building. So this is the street facing side of this particular building there, you can see. This is if you come in now through the front door. There will be a sidewalk there up to the street level and stairs. On to our 2nd floor here. So this is the living room. This is where we were before in that room over in the other unit where you could just see studs. So this is what it looks like once it's finished. So in here we have trim going in, we have our windowsills are installed and the aprons that go underneath the windowsills, and we have baseboard like I said. Here there will be the counter, there will be either a ledge or a countertop here separated between the kitchen. And then in here, this is our kitchen. So we have just installed cabinets and put on cabinet doors. Countertops have yet to be installed, but they're coming. And so this is where we have the energy efficient appliances and Energy Star appliances, and then low flow plumbing fixtures to ensure energy efficiency for the homeowner. So over here, so this is going to be the fridge right here, and then we'll have cabinets, and then this is where the range will be in the oven. And then if you keep going around, the sink is here,
with the dishwasher next to it. So that kind of is what the layout of the kitchen is going to be. Also in our homes, while we're in the kitchen, so our homes, we provide appliances for our homeowners. So we provide a washer dryer, and then a refrigerator, a dishwasher, and a stove. So that is a huge thing for homeowners when they move in, is appliances are expensive. So it's super helpful to just come into a home with those new appliances that are ready for them to use. And then if we continue on into this bedroom. So this is a bedroom. This is the bedroom on the second floor. About the same size, and a closet. All of the bedrooms have closets. So in here you can see we have trim done, and then we have some doors that are gonna open up onto a Juliet balcony type thing. So street facing side. Then if you keep going on here, we have a half bath in here. We don't have anything, no appliances or anything in yet, so. Then if we continue upstairs, so if we come in here, so in this unit, we took the paper off the floor. We put paper on the floor to protect it after we install it from everything. So in here, we've taken the paper off so that you can get an idea of what it all looks like. So up here, we have 2 bedrooms. These are the biggest bedrooms of the unit. Undetermined which one's the master. So in here, we have all the baseboards done, all the windowsills and the aprons, and there's another big closet in here. If we continue on in here, we have a big bathroom. It's very dark. So we have a full bath. This is a bathtub. Toilet will be there. And then over on this side, this is going to be a double vanity. So it'll be a nice big vanity. And then as you exit, we have a little linen closet here. There'll be some shelving in there. And then here is where the washer dryer is going to be. This is the laundry closet. There'll be a washer dryer in there. And then you come onto this bedroom at the front of the building. So this is the street facing side again. And here we got another big bedroom with another really big closet. So in here, this also has the sliding doors with the Juliet balcony. And yes, that is our home.
All right. Thanks again, Mackenzie and Bethany, for filming. So that's just a great glimpse of our Lake City project, where it stands right now. That's from less than a week ago, and gives you a great idea of how the project's coming along and a lot of the features that go into what ends up being a modern habitat home. If anyone has any questions about our Lake City site or anything like that, I would welcome any questions or feedback for the work being done out there. Feel free to enter it into the chat or unmute yourself and speak up. So I'll just add a few comments about it. So Lake City is being built in 2 phases. Each phase is made of 2 buildings with 4 units each. So for a total of 16 units. Each unit is 4 bedrooms. It's 2.5 baths and 1,430 square feet. I think you'll mention that Mackenzie mentioned a lot the efficiency of the work that we do and the appliances and the things that go into our homes these days. Just to say that we emphasize green building elements and materials for our homes. It's not only for the benefit of the planet, but our homeowners as well. The more efficient we can build and produce our homes and fill them with efficient appliances and fixtures, it's going to save our families money. And homeownership isn't affordable just because you can afford to buy the place. You can also afford to live in the place. And the way that we go about constructing our homes really makes a difference in that. Some of the highlights are ductless heat pump systems, electric heat pump systems. Mackenzie mentioned that. it's just a more efficient way to heat our homes. Sometimes they have cooling capacity as well, but it's just an efficient way to do that. Our hot water heaters are very efficient. The recirculation that Mackenzie mentioned just means that you don't waste water. Think of how much water, for some of us who maybe currently live in or grew up in older homes or just homes that don't have some of these features, you turn on the water for hot water to wash your hands or take a shower, and you wait and you wait and you wait for 10 or 30 or a minute, 30 seconds or a minute for that water to warm up. The way that our pumps and systems are set up, there's hot water the second you turn the water on. And so we're saving water every time you need it by having the type of water you need ready to go. Energy Star appliances, LED lighting, low flow plumbing fixtures, all of that goes into just being a very efficient home that will last. It's going to last for a long time. It's going to be of value to those homeowners for a long time. Caroline answered the question about the application for the homeowners, but for the AmeriCorps, there's a question from Kiyomi about when construction will be completed. Do we have an estimate timeline for when those homes are going to be done and families might be starting to move in?
Hi, Kiyomi. Yeah, I'm pretty sure the last thing we were told for phase 1 is that it should be in April. But I do not have an exact date.
And phase 2, so those other buildings, they have to be framed. The buildings are so close together that you can't really have like an active construction site on the other side, because also the road's not gonna be finished. So, and that is, I mean, they just started groundwork for that. So yeah, you have to wait until there's no longer framing and machines and lumber everywhere in order for the phase 1 buildings for people to move in. That's the major thing, like hurdle to get over in with phase 1, because the buildings are so close together.
Yeah, so essentially once framing is complete, once most of the outside work on phase 2 is done, then families are going to be able to start getting ready to move into their homes, which is great. Speaking of families, just want to also highlight, for Women Build Week and International Women's Day, I think it's important that we highlight not only the amazing AmeriCorps we have out there, the work that they're doing and the work that's being done, but also the families that are going to be moving into these homes. And I mentioned at the beginning, we, as an organization, we aim to house folks who have the greatest need for affordable housing. And one of the families that's going to be moving into Lake City is the Moreta family. It's Tigist, the mother, and her 2 daughters. It's a single family home. And she is originally from Ethiopia. She moved to the United States in 2004 and originally came here to work to support her family back home. And in that time, she started going to school. She went to Renton Technical College, where she studied medical lab science. She currently works there in a medical laboratory now, and lives in the Shoreline area with her family. She is going to be moving into one of these homes at Lake City, and it's going to be that permanent, affordable place for her and her daughters to live in and to grow up in and to call home. It's going to be the first, home that she'll own. It's going to be the first stable, consistent place that she'll have to live in with her children. And there's unique issues that are met by single head of household families, and especially single women who are leading their families. Whether it's the wage gap, whether it is the employment gap, whether it is just raising children on their own and trying to make ends meet, there is a unique challenge that exists there. And so we're excited that the families that we serve and the homeowners that we work with really match the communities that have the need for housing and are looking for an affordable, consistent place to live. So Tigist is just one example of many families that we serve, but I think she's a great representation of the women that we work with and the women that we are working with to build homes together. I know that the Moreta family has been out volunteering a few times at Lake City, and I'm wondering if the Lake City crew might share a little bit about what it's been like working with and alongside them as they build their homes.
Yeah, I got to work with Tigis and her brother, Naguse, and we were doing flooring that day that she came out, and it's always so exciting and so rewarding. Those are one of my favorite parts about this job is working with the homeowners and getting to teach them how to put their own flooring in, and have them ask questions about it, and how do I do this, and how will I fix this, and it's just really nice just to be with them. And it's funny, so Biggest's other brother, Mesfin, also comes out because he's also a homeowner. But the two of them always said our sister's the more important one. She's she has the good job. She's the one who's she works in a medical lab for all the COVID testing and stuff. So she's more important than us. She's awesome, and just having all three of them and their dynamic of their family dynamic on site is just an awesome experience.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you for sharing. And Kevin had a question about can we speak to more to about what Habitat determines as affordable? So I would say, excuse me, there's two parts to that. One is that we work with families and individuals. They qualify for a number of different ways, but one of the qualifications is based on income. As an organization, we serve people who make 80% or lower, below 80% the area median income for King County. So if that's, it's a sliding scale. If it's a single family household versus all the way up to, a family of 8, there's a different range for each level, but anyone who applies has to make less than 80% of the area median income to qualify. And then what we determine as affordable generally means that we're selling our homes where the cost to the buyer is not going to be, I think right now we're around 33 to 35% of their income. We don't want, so sometimes there are people who own homes or who are renting who have a stable place to live, but it's not affordable because they're spending 50% of their income or 60 or 70% of their income on their housing. And we don't want that to be the case. That's not an affordable way to live, and it's not an affordable place to live. And that can be the first time you have a family emergency or a health problem, all of a sudden you're at risk of losing your housing because you can't afford to keep up with payments. So that is also a big part of what we offer through our programs is the affordability of the mortgage. And again, that's right now, it's about 33 to 35% of the income of those who apply for the homes. Thank you, Caroline, for sharing our link in the chat. If you go to buyhabitat.org, it's a great place to learn more about the application process and what it means to partner with us as a family. But Jess shared a great story about Tigis and her brothers. Our families are out on site building. For anyone who's been out volunteering, oftentimes I'm sure you've been out volunteering directly alongside a partner family who is learning the skills and the trade of what goes into building a home. I think it's an incredibly valuable skill set to learn as you're becoming a first-time homeowner, to know what went into your home, know what's in the walls, know what's behind the studs, know everything that goes into it, so that when you become a homeowner, if there's something that needs a repair or something that needs an upgrade, you are far more knowledgeable about what went into the home that you are living in. And it's a really just an incredible learning session for anyone who's going to be buying a home, to be able to know that ahead of time. And they're putting in the work to get the walls raised and to build the home for themselves, for their neighbors, in other communities. It's a really special program, I think, that has everyone kind of coming together. So are there any other questions from the group on the call today about any of what we talked about today? And feel free to still drop those in the chat, but otherwise I just want to again thank Caroline, thank Bethany, Mackenzie, Jess, and Lisa, who were part of the interview and part of our team. for just highlighting the work that women are doing within Habitat, and thank all of you for joining us as we kick off Women Build Week this week. Like I said, please keep in touch with us. We have on-site builds coming up in May. And we also, on Thursday, are going to be doing a virtual training when it comes to advocacy for the impacts of housing and women. And so Ryan Donahue, our Advocacy and Policy Director, is going to be joined by Michelle Preston, who is the CEO of Habitat for Washington State, an organization that works for all habitats here in Washington. And they're going to be talking about the Washington State Housing Trust Fund, which is a invaluable source of funding for housing, and specifically the way that the state funds affordable housing works, how that money gets distributed, how Habitat benefits from it, and how that benefits women in housing throughout the state. So if you would like to join us, that's going to be Thursday night at 6:30, and I am going to drop my email in the chat. You can email me, and just like today, we'll send you a link to a Zoom call, and it'll be a great resource to learn more about advocacy when it comes to affordable housing and the impacts that it has on women. So thank you again all for joining us. And if there's any other final comments from Caroline or the AmeriCorps crew, otherwise we really appreciate you joining us for the kickoff to Women Build Week.
Yeah, I'll just say thank you as well. We have a ton of great women volunteers and just volunteers in general, and I hope to see some of you all out at site.
All right, thanks so much. We'll see you soon. Bye, everyone.
Bye.